Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here. Welcome to the live stream in January, the first one of 2025. I welcome specifically all the new people here. There's been a lot of new subscribers on this channel lately, and I am really happy that you have subscribed, and I'm really happy that you are here. I hope you are going to enjoy the channel and these regular live streams, even though they are just once in a month, but nevertheless I hope you're going to like them. First of all, for those of you who are new here, I have to keep the door behind me a tiny bit ajar because I do have a couple of pets here, as you have probably already noticed, because I did start a little bit late, and that was because I had like a little pet emergency, let's say. So I have to keep the door ajar, otherwise there would be a lot of scratching and maybe barking and so on. So yeah, don't be surprised if you see some cats and dogs walking around. It's just a word at the start. We do have a lot of topics to cover this time because there was a lot going on since December, especially considering some of the games that we are all looking forward to, and also the games that we've been following up on, like Dragon Age the Failguard, for example. So I do have some updates there as well. I did post a small list also on X, what topics we are going to have, but I wanted to encourage you at this time, please don't hesitate to use the chat section whenever you have a question or you would like to post your thoughts regarding what I'm talking about. I do have the chat this time on this side, and that is because when I had it on the other side, it was very hard for me to see it out of the corner here and behind the microphone and everything. So I did move it to this side in case you're wondering where I'm looking at. And I do hope you can hear me. Please let me know. The last time there were a couple of technical difficulties. I did realize what it was in the end. It was OBS, and in OBS I had in one of the scenes the desktop sound muted, and for whatever reason, whenever I was switching the scenes from like the desktop to me, etc., the thing was overriding everything, so it just automatically locked the desktop sound. I am hoping that this will not be the case this time. I can see the microphone unlocked, and I can also see the desktop audio unlocked, and I've made sure before the stream that everything's unlocked, so hopefully there will be no issues. But as I said, let me know whenever you see that something's not working. And yeah, first news of the year, a little bit of a personal news, I would say. I had to go to the eye doctor because I realized I am not really seeing so great, especially lately when I was working on the PC. And yeah, I do need glasses, and I cannot avoid it anymore. And I am going to use those from now on, probably also in some of the recordings and the vids. If I'm playing a game where I don't really need to read, like where I don't have any subtitles, I will be probably fine without them. But during, for example, live streams like today, where I'm going to read something from the screen, I will most probably use those. And just for the fun of it, because I do have two, and that's not because I just would like to have two different ones because I'm such a fashion junkie. It's simply because they had like two for the price of one. So yeah, I admit I wanted to use that. So I have two. Those are a little bit different, and just for the fun of it, I told myself, okay, I will show you both. And you let me know which ones you like better. I will also post a poll later on the community tab in YouTube and also on X, and just let me know which ones you like better. So I will show you the first ones. These are the black ones. I can see the screen. Okay, so these are the first ones. As you can see, there's a little bit gray here on the side. So that's the glasses number one. And then I have the second They are a little bit different, and they are dark red. They are a little bit like more delicate, and they look like this from the side. So yeah, these are the second ones. I will keep those for the moment, but I do like them both. So yeah, let me know which ones you prefer. So you're probably going to see them a little bit. And yeah, let me check the notes that I have prepared, and I will tell you what we have a little bit more in detail. So we do have actually something regarding Mass Effect 5, regarding Dragon Age the Failguard, of course, and ZombieWare, but I'm sure you are aware there have been a couple of news and updates in the meantime. And then after that, I have something new regarding the Witcher 4. Not really that much like news, but more like discussions that have been going on, and something regarding CDPR that's related to it. So yeah, let's look at that one. And then, of course, we had the presentation of the first gameplay showcase, or the introduction into Blood of Dawnwalker. So that one was really great. I also did a vid. I hope you managed to see it. If not, it's on the channel. A little bit of a self-promo here. And then, yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance number 2. I didn't really cover this yet on my channel. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm going to, because there's so much going on. I don't want to like spread myself too thin. Currently, there's Horizon, or the Horizon games, that I'm like a little bit more focused on. I will be following up on Blood of Dawnwalker. There's a lot going on with Exodus. That would be the next topic. And oh, I can see we have one viewer here. And let me check. Oh, the Lois dog. Hi. It's nice to see you. I might not stick around too long, but I'll give you a listen. Thank you very much. That's great that you could pop in. So I'm just talking about the topics that I have for the stream, and then at the end a little bit of a few of the plans that I have for this year with the channel. But if you have seen some posts from me last year where I was talking about my plans, and also some of the vids, not everything worked out. So yeah, plans are nice, but who knows if it will work out, but at least it's good like to have an idea what I would like to do. But one of the important bits would be for me to get some more feedback from your side as well. I have now quite a various like content. I have some gameplays, I have game reviews. I have made fun of some characters. As you could see, I had some like character roasts, and then I have like bits where I'm just sharing my thoughts on some stuff. I had some news and updates, so like various topics that I'm covering. And for this year, I would like to focus more on what's more interesting for you, what you would like to hear and see. So yeah, that would be definitely something where I would like to get some feedback. And yeah, let me start then with the first topic, which is Mass Effect 5. So there have been a couple of tweets from My Gamble regarding the Mass Effect 5 production, or what they are planning. And I think people have been interpreting them, let me put it this way, they have been interpreting what they wish that would be in the game into My Gamble's tweets. Let me show you a little bit briefly what I mean. Let me just switch to the desktop screen, so I hope you can see it now, and let me just go to the posts here. And the first one says, so many new Mass Effect fans popping up in my mentions, maybe because it's like $5 or something. That was way back at the end of November, but people have been following up in the discussion for a few days going forward, and they were discussing like what is planned for Mass Effect 5. And he was mentioning here specifically, like, make sure you play Lair of the Shadow Broker. So that was like the first hint that the people were like picking up on, and it was like very interesting for them. Let me just switch back to OBS so I can see if you are writing something. I'm not sure if I'm happy about this or not. I mean, I loved the Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC. I did love the second game as it was, and I do like that they want to continue at least with Liara, because that is something that they were showing already in the previous like trailers that they had. We could see Liara there. But it does give me again Failguard vibes. Just to explain, I mean, if you think about it, Dragon Age the Failguard, they have created it basically mainly related to the Trespasser DLC from Dragon Age the Inquisition, and completely like ignored everything else basically that has happened in the games previously. And now from the creator or director for Mass Effect 5, I hear, yeah, make sure to play a DLC. It does make me wonder again. I mean, yeah, do they want to like continue only with that? And is that somehow more important like the rest of the games? What about the botched ending from the third game? So yeah, it's weird. Isn't that an ME2 expansion? Yes, exactly. So that was Mass Effect 2, a Mass Effect 2 DLC. It was awesome. I really loved it, I have to say. So I think they had Arrival as well. That was the second. I think there were only 2 layers of the Shadow Broker and Arrival. And I did like them both, but Lair of the Shadow Broker more because it was longer and in multiple parts. And I really did love it. So yeah, I like that one. But again, it was just basically, it was focused on Liara becoming the Shadow Broker. And it wasn't necessarily that much connected to the rest of the trilogy. And that's why I'm saying it's giving me now like heavy Failguard vibes, because I hope they are not going to do the same as they did with Dragon Age the Failguard, that they are like completely going to ignore the rest of the important decisions that we could see in the previous games. I hope not, but I'm having a weird feeling here, to be honest. So that one was like the first thing which they were talking about. That was the DLC. And then there is something more. I think it's in the same chat. Let me just scroll down. There was a discussion about Paragon Renegade, or was it, I think, in the second? Oh, yeah. So there is a second thread then where, Dantix was discussing the Dragon Age the Failguard game, but Mike Gamble has like chimed in, and there were a couple of people saying like they don't like Failguard and that they are hoping that they are not going to go the same route with Mass Effect 5. And then the discussion started about the Renegade and Paragon options, and people were discussing like how much these were used. Like most people have used the Paragon, not the Renegade. Then there was a discussion in general, like, okay, how important are the statistics for something to be included in the game? Somebody mentioned, I think only like 32% of people have been playing here. 32% of the players like played in the Legendary Edition a femshep. That means the majority was playing male shepherd. It's a question, like, should the next protagonist then be male? Because it's just a smaller percentage. So does the percentage matter, yes or no? But the discussion regarding Renegade and Paragon, then Gamble chimed in again, and he said, okay, it's true that more people played Paragon, but it would have been meaningless if Renegade had not existed. The ability to choose is stronger than the number of people playing any option, in my opinion. And that's it. That's all he said. And then there has been like a separate, I think, another thread where people have started to like pick exactly these few words from him. And a lot of the people started to interpret it in a way like, oh, that means Paragon and Renegade will be confirmed and they will be definitely in the like Mass Effect 5. He never confirmed it. He never said yes or no. I mean, it is a question. Let me just go back. So he never confirmed it. People were just interpreting what they would love to see into his response. But if you read in that entire thread, his responses, he's not confirming it. So yeah, Louis, I must confess, I have never played any of the Mass Effect games, but it's on my bucket list. Oh, I would definitely advise you to play the first three, the Legendary Edition, so Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Those are really good. And in terms of like RPG, that's the game, or all of the games, but mainly the first and the second, where your choices really matter. I think the first one was a big success exactly because of that. It was really like one of the prime examples of what an RPG should be looking like. So I think I really, if I would be you, I would start like with the Legendary Edition with Mass Effect 1, and then you get like a good idea of the entire series. I am not sure though about the third one, to be honest. I have heard that the, let's say, ending, the botched ending that it originally had, was fixed later in the Legendary Edition. However, I'm not sure how they fixed it, because I'm using mods and I'm not playing the game anymore like without mods, so I refuse to play the original ending. I have my happy ending mod. It's really called like that, and it is like a happy ending, so Shepard lives and everything's fine. Yeah, I would advise you to go for some mods and check out the mods as well. But yeah, go ahead and play. It's really, it's worth, I think it's worth the time. Those games are really good. Not to derail too much, but what do the Legendary Editions bring to the table? And John is here, just woke up. Hi, John. Hi. What do they bring to the table? I think they were updated to run more smoothly, because if you think about it, the oldest one, I don't even remember the year when it came out. I think like something like 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Please don't take my word for it like 100%, but I would have to check it. But there was like a couple of changes in the Legendary Edition that were not so great as well. So from a perspective of a male gamer, people were happy when they were playing the original games, because, for example, Miranda is a very sexy companion, and of course there were like close-ups of her butt and stuff like that in the original games. And in the Legendary Edition, this was a little bit like taken out. So there are some changes which the people were not so happy about, but that's like superficial, okay? I still think it's a great game. I think they improved it, like it runs more smoothly now, especially like Windows 10 and 11. And like I said, you have, I think it has like one starting what's it called, interface, where you can choose which game you start. You can transfer your games from the first one to the second, and then from the second to the third, if you like. Also the character, you can just import your character. It is something that was already in the original games. For me, when I was playing the Legendary Editions, I have noticed specifically in the first Mass Effect game a difference a little bit in the hiding mechanism. So if you are in combat and you wanted to hide behind something, it was very hard to do. Not every time the game was like picking it up, and sometimes you were just like shot to death before you even managed to hide behind an obstacle, because the mechanics were not so great. And I think this is something that was improved in the Legendary Edition. So they were like gameplay mechanics improvements as well, not just something that was negative and taken out, but something that was also improved. I think you can find it online as well, like what all changes there have been. I would lie if I would tell you right now that I know it from the top of my head, because it's quite a long time since I've played the original games, and then the Legendary Edition, the Mass Effect 3 game, I have played it last year, more than a year ago, so yeah, don't really have all the details in my mind. Legendary has character creation, that's from John. Yeah, but it had it also from, that was also the same in the original games, but the characters, when you were importing them, I think that was one of the pain points. If you created your own custom shepherd, because you have like predetermined shepherds, male, female, but if you have created a custom shepherd in the first game, and then you try to import him or her into the second game, they looked very different. So you had to play around quite a lot, and most people just simply then gave up and recreated the character anew. And that was like the biggest pain point. I'm not sure if it was the same from the second to the third. And in the Legendary Edition, this is fixed. So when you create a character in Mass Effect 1 and you import it into Mass Effect 2, there is still a little difference, but it's not so painful to watch it like in the original game. So they took out some of the meme aspects of the game. Yeah. I'm sure you have seen some of the close-ups of Miranda's ass. Yeah, they took it out, unfortunately. So that's why also I say, like, I am a little bit careful with the next Mass Effect game, because I'm having the feeling this one will be again like sanitized a little bit more than the previous trilogy. Mass Effect Andromeda already was, if you think about it this way, right? Polished some of the junk, got it, yes. Okay. Yeah, so they did a couple of changes, but I'm sure if you like go online and try to find the differences, then you should be able to find it. I'm not sure if it's still on sale. It was for quite some time for a relatively like small price, and if you consider like the Legendary Edition like contains 3 games, and all of those are like 80 hours. So yeah, you get a lot of game for the money, right? So I would definitely like go for it. Let me just quickly check the notes that I have regarding the Mass Effect 5. As you can see, I have here the notes. Yeah, I don't trust them. This was something that I said like already before. If you look at the if you look at what they did before, what they did previously, let me just quickly switch there and back. Okay, if you look at what they did before, they did oftentimes like hinted at something that it will be in the game, or they have promised something that it will be in the game, and then they didn't deliver, or it was changed, let's say during production. So when I see mentions about the Paragon Renegade options, I'm not sure if I trust them. I'm not sure if I would now at this point in time say it is confirmed. It doesn't look to me from what I have seen in the discussions. So I don't think it's confirmed. I don't trust them. Honestly, I don't. Okay, so that's one of the things that I'm a little bit wary of. Yeah, it goes on sale periodically. I'm not worried I wouldn't be able to get it on the cheap. Yeah, there was a winter sale right now. I'm sure there will be something now coming spring. There's some spring sale always. And then I think in summer, during the summer, there will be again a summer sale. So I'm pretty sure they will offer it. And yeah, let me switch maybe the screen a little bit again. And let me check the next notes that I have. And oh yeah, Amazon is planning a TV show. That is also something where I'm like very skeptical. I mean, all I'm going to say is rings of poop. So if you consider, even if you give them the best possible material to work with, which would be in the Rings of Poops case, the Tolkien's books and also the previous movies, which could have been a nice inspiration, they still managed to botch it on a massive scale. And now I'm reading, okay, Amazon is planning a TV show. I don't know what to think about it, because Amazon, with them, it's like 50-50. Sometimes they manage to do something really awesome, and sometimes they completely botch it, as in Rings of Poops, right? So I'm very skeptical here. Louis, yeah, it goes on sale period. Okay, I said that. Oh, Tekla, hi. Yeah, nice to see you here. The ability to choose is what makes the choice impactful. Lol, I thought it was the varied outcome of choice. Yes. So you don't trust them to implement evil choices or that they wouldn't introduce a completely different dialogue morality system. That's from Louis. I mean, they tried something already in Andromeda. In Andromeda, you don't have a Paragon Renegade system. If you look at my playthrough, I'm not sure if you have seen some of the vids, but when you have this dialogue wheel there, basically what they substituted it with was they tried to like flesh out the character of your like main protagonist. In this case, it was Ryder, and they gave you multiple options. Like you could reply in like in a nasty way, you could reply in a logical way, or very emotional. But you still replied the same thing. So it was like, yes, just in 4 different ways, or no, in 4 different ways. They didn't really give you the option to choose between a yes and a no. And it wasn't really this like Paragon Renegade. And that's what I was missing. And honestly, that was also something that people were criticizing on Mass Effect Andromeda, that this was not a good change from the original trilogy, that they didn't like continue with the Paragon Renegade system, and that what they were offering in the dialogue wheel was basically not really a choice. It was just a choice how you say something, but you couldn't really like say something different, right? You couldn't really have like different outcomes of the dialogue, honestly. So I am not really trusting them for Mass Effect 5 as well, to be honest, based on that. John is saying the only drawback to the third one in Legendary Edition is file size if you want to replay only one episode. Yeah, you have to install basically the entire Legendary Edition, even if you are going to play only one of the games. That's true, but you still have to install the entire thing. But I'm not sure if you can still even get the original games, to be honest. I am not sure. I think we can only get at this time only the Legendary Edition. So yeah, I'm not so sure. Tekla, Amazon doesn't give a damn what they do. It's 50-50 that it's gonna be woke, unlike Netflix. Yeah, with Netflix, we know that it's going to be 99.9% woke. Yeah. With Amazon, it might be good, it might not. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Like, they did manage to do some stuff like nicely and really good, and then they managed to botch something completely. So there's a really big difference between what they were producing. I do think it also depends a lot on the people who are actually making those series and those movies. So I guess it depends largely on the directors and writers, etc. So yeah. Okay, the next one. Oh yeah. I think if you are a little bit knowledgeable about ZombieWare, then you will probably know Mark Darrah, who was working for BioWare for many years. And he is also on YouTube. He has his own channel. And I think what was very interesting lately was one vid that he posted. Let me just maybe share it on the screen. I will not play the entire vid, but I would like to show you basically a graph that he was sharing. So let me just change. And let me go to this one. And this is basically what he was showing. So he was showing during his vid how ZombieWare, and I will call them ZombieWare, was working on the games previously in the previous years. And as you can see, they have they have always worked on multiple projects at once. And you can see when they started to work on which ones, like for example here Andromeda, it was starting out as a Project Javelin here, and then like people were switching between the Mass Effect, original Mass Effect series, and then they went back to Andromeda when it started in 2011. And you have here the entire, for example, like scale of Dragon Age as well, or amongst other games. So you have Dragon Age Origins, and then Awakening, Dragon Age 2, Inquisition, and then again some other projects that they were working on. And I think this shows you why there are so many people in ZombieWare, why they have so many studios in so many locations, and B, why they were actually able to put out so many games in certain time periods, because they were like working on all of them at the same time, basically. Now, what happened, let me just switch back so I can see what you're writing. So what happened here is that the games have been, for the most part, all of them finished. They have shipped Dragon Age the Failguard, and now they have basically only one game currently which they're working on, and that's Mass Effect 5. And that's it. So it's like it's no surprise that they are moving people within EA now. So they took people out of BioWare and moved them to some EA projects. So basically to completely different games and different projects. And they just left those people currently at BioWare, I think, who are working on the Mass Effect 5. And those are not the people in the Edmonton studio, as I understood. And as you probably heard, the Edmonton studio is most probably going to be shut down. That was one of the next things that was so interesting, where we are already sliding into the Dragon Age topic a little bit. Yeah, let me check what you're writing. Darrah's take is pure copium. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's trying to justify like what's currently going on and why it looks this way. And basically, like, he's trying to explain that if a studio is going to be shut down, it's because, well, the people have no work. So why should they keep the studios? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's like you are saying the cope here. Just everything, just not to admit that the last game, which was Dragon Age the Failguard, was so bad. And not just that one, but they have been going downhill for quite some time and for quite a few years. And I think the Dragon Age the Failguard game was just the last nail in the coffin, not just in that one studio. I really think that they are going to have a problem with the other studios as well. I mean, Mass Effect 5, as long as I remember, it's not even like in production yet. It's like still in pre-production. So this time in this phase, if they cancel it, nothing big was really lost. I would put it this way. So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Tekla, Failguard lost like 5 years in development to cancellations. Yeah, and they were like switching. Like they had the original idea for the game, what they want to do, and actually I think Noura made a good stream about it, because she pulled out some like concept arts and some more information about what was originally planned about the game that was supposed to be Dreadwolf, and it really looked great. And if they would be continuing in what they had planned originally, I'm pretty sure we would be getting a completely different game than we've got with Failguard, and we wouldn't be talking about ZombieWare in a very different light than we are talking about now. So yeah, definitely. It's safe to say it is not Corinne's fault. Yeah. I can see, yeah, the sarcasm is big here with this one. He's trying to cover it up this way because, of course, he doesn't want to talk badly about fellow game devs and directors and everything. But I do think that if you have someone in a position of a games director, then yeah, to a large part, that person is responsible for what they are putting out. Even though it was like, let's say, a rocky road to created the game because they had like this first draft and they switched and they wanted to do it like a live service game, and then they scratched that and went back to a single player game. So yeah, many changes, a lot of cancellations, things were changing. I understand that, but still, the games director is responsible for that final outcome. Otherwise it wouldn't be the games director, right? So yeah. BioWare is like an old favorite restaurant that eventually has none of the stuff that made it great and then goes full vegan. That's from John. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Tekla and a lot of DA devs supposedly aren't working on Mass Effect, so looks like Mass Effect gets minimum support from EA. Yeah, I do think so, and I think like they are really doing it in a different studio. And the question is, because now if you remember, there was also a mention about the one of them, like very important old veteran writers, Sylvia Fekete-Kuti. She left as well now after the fail of Dragon Age Failguard. And I wonder, like, who are the remaining writers there in the studio? Like, I'm not sure if they still have any veterans there. So if you had someone who was writing, let's say, a character in a certain way for I don't know how many years, and now suddenly somebody steps in, somebody different, then logically, no matter how hard they will try, you will see and feel the difference in how the character now behaves and talks. It will not be the same. So I am wondering if they would put out an ME5 game, actually who's the people behind it at this point. Because I can only see Mike Gamble talking about the game at this time. And yeah, everybody knows Mike Gamble, but it's not one person that makes a game, right? Weeks is on Massive. Ah, good lord, yes. That's not exactly the good information or the positive one, because yeah, he was working on Dragon Age Failguard, and I know he was also working on some of the older games from ZombieWare, but still, like, considering what he did in Failguard and the participation that he had there, nah. I don't trust him. I don't trust him with Mass Effect 5, honestly. So yeah. Let me switch back a little bit and let me check what else do I have in the notes. And we have... yeah, Failguard. I was actually saying before the Christmas time that let's check after the holidays how Failguard is doing. Of course, in the meantime, so much happened that I'm not sure if we even have to check, but I would like to, and I would like to show you something. So I have prepared some stuff. We do have the stats for Failguard. Then we did have also Corinne Bush leaving. Let's go to that topic a little bit later. And then we had also the EA having to adjust their revenue based on the failure of Failguard. Who would have thought? Yeah, so let me show you the screen. And let me just quickly switch. Yeah, here's a little bit of the discussion regarding Mass Effect 5, and here's, by the way, just a note regarding the movie that's being planned by Amazon, where Jennifer Hale says that she would be in if they would want to make the movie. Yeah, if they would want to make it. I mean, she's a voice actor. A lot of the people that have been working on it originally are really more commonly known as voice actors, and some of them are, let's say, relatively old. I think they would just have to do a voice over then if they would have to participate, and you would still have to have a different actor playing the character. So just FYI, you can read this. It's actually not a bad interview, so that one's interesting. But here's the stats for Dragon Age, the Failguard. And as you can see, this is the all-time peak that we've seen when the game came out, and it hasn't changed. And if you scroll down, And I said, like, for me, the absolute confirmation of the entire like game failing would be if we see like a drop instead of an increase after the vacations, like the Christmas holidays. Because normally what happens, people have more time during the Christmas and they go back to their games and, catch up on them and play a little bit more. And if you look at what happened, like they went down like minus. So and they went from like the peak player count of 89,000 to 19.7K in December. And in the last 30 days, so basically it's almost now the like January stats, it's just like 13 and a half. Oh, come on. So this is really bad. We just switch the screen so I can see what you're writing. Tekla, it's either director's fault and he takes the responsibility of it, means that he was a DEI prop and basically thrown into the deep end of production with no credentials. Yeah, we're talking about Corinne, yeah. And Patrick Weeks, he wrote Tash, yeah, that's from John, yeah. I mean, says it all, like I said. I am aware that he wrote also for some of the previous games from ZombieWare, but I just don't see the quality there anymore because, he wrote Tash, so that says it all. I mean, that's probably the quality of the writing that we can expect from him going forward. Now also in Mass Effect 5. No thanks. Tekla can't claim to be ruler of RPGs and conqueror of haters and blame the development hell. Yes, I mean, when I have seen that one article where they said about Corinne Bush, like the ruler of RPGs, I was like, hell no, like who writes this nonsense? It looked like a satire. That didn't look like a normal article that looked like a satire. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Like somebody really meant that. And the delusion is like strong with that one, I would say. Yeah. John is writing, a better Mass Effect 5 would be a fixed Andromeda with 2 more acts. I actually think they could go back to that and try to maybe do a second part that would be, let's say, better, where they would learn from their mistakes and where they would do like a second part for Andromeda. I know there's a lot of people who don't like the game. I did a review for it, so probably you have seen it, and I actually cannot say it's a bad game. Yes, sure, I would probably write a very different review if I would have to play the game as it originally came out, because that was flawed as hell, whether it was the facial animations or it was, mechanically stuff that was not working. What they could fix, they did fix. I think there's a lot that is currently fixed. Also, the mods are adding a ton of good, like, life quality into the game when you're playing it, and I did play it with a lot of mods, so my impression from the game was very different probably than it must have been for the people who were playing it when the game released. What was not fixed and what you cannot fix with a patch is of course the writing, so it was really weak in certain spots, and I think John, you have mentioned that also when we have agreed on that, like it was like childish really for some of the characters, and I would have to say that like some of the characters, some were written actually like quite well, and I enjoyed the interactions, but some of them were like really childish, and I think you could see that the difference of who was writing those. I think we could see like which writers were like the more senior or more veteran writers were probably writing those characters that were, let's say, more enjoyable. So if they would, let's say, learn from their mistakes and do Andromeda 2, where they would actually like correct everything from the previous game in terms of writing or in terms of certain things, not doing it as an open world, because that one was killing me, to be honest. That was just too much of the quest. I think it would be great. I did like the combat. Most people were saying that's like the strongest like fun part of the entire game. It's the combat, even though it was already like really the action RPG part where you only had 3 choices, like free skills that you could use, and you could not like command really your companion what they're supposed to do. So for me, it was a downside, but in the end, like I had a lot of fun with it, right? So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. In ME5, they said they want to combine Mass Effect Andromeda and the original trilogy. I have no clue how they want to do it. If they don't want to repeat the same mistake as Dragon Age, the Failguard did, with completely disregarding the previous choices that most of the players did, and just like start from scratch and with a blank slate. Yeah, that's why I'm so skeptical here for the next game, to be honest. Tekla is writing, I'm still impressed with over 4K 20-hour peak. Yeah, I think there are some people who are actually doing like a second or a third replay. From what I have seen, so I have noticed even some YouTubers like who like the game, they are doing like a second or third replay, and that's where it just tells me, it just confirms to me even more that the sales numbers are really not so great, because it's not like new players or that new people would be buying the game. It's just the same people who have already bought the game previously. Now they are just doing a second or a third playthrough. So even if you see like the number of the players here being, I don't know, 3 or 4K, majority of them will be probably the same ones as you have seen in November and December. Yeah, doesn't necessarily bode well for the sales, to be honest. I thought it will be 2K after 2 months, yeah, considering how bad the game is. John is writing, still topping the chart. Yes. That was also a delusional take from someone. I'm not even sure if it was like a journalist or someone who wrote like, yeah, go Vogue, go oh no, go top up the charts, haha. And I'm now owning the charts with my post. Yeah, the post was later quickly deleted because, yeah, of course, they went broke. So yeah. Andromeda was the most logical. How do we return to the Milky Way? If you consider the ending of the Mass Effect 3, the botched one, yes, I wouldn't want to go back to that one, to be honest. So yeah, for Andromeda, I have seen there are a lot of open questions at the end of the first game, or the game that I was playing. And there is a lot of potential that could be like worked with and explained in the next game. So, and it was also meant to be a first portion of a trilogy, so there is a lot of, let's say, open items that they could pick up on. I don't know, they rather decided to go back to the original trilogy and probably just combine it with some features, some people, something from Andromeda. Who knows? I don't know. We know way too little. But yeah, like I said, how do you want to combine all of these decisions from the original trilogy with Andromeda and then like keep the players happy? Because some of the players will have made a choice, I don't know, like it was way back in the first game, that they got rid of the council, and then it was like a topic that was coming back in Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. Everybody was like, reminding Shepard that, yeah, Shepard got rid of the old council and now the humans basically rule, blah, blah, blah. So that was the renegade option. Then if you didn't do that, everybody was like trying to be friends with you at the end of Mass Effect 3. But then the outcomes of Mass Effect 3, for example, I had no Quarians there. That was because I didn't have Tali. So my outcome of the third game was the Geth are all well and alive and helping us, and there are no Quarians. And now if I'm going to play Mass Effect 5 and suddenly there are no Geth, but there are Quarians, what am I supposed to do with a game like that? That's not something that would be reflecting my choices, right? So yeah, that's why I'm very concerned how they want to like continue this game, if they want to take into consideration the original trilogy. John is writing, yes, fix some of the writing, but not the kill me now line. Yes. That one was good, yeah. Calo listening to Ryder and Sui, kill me now. I had a lot of fun with that one. Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of concerns for me. Failguard, let me go back a little bit to that one. So we have seen the stats, and then what was quite fun for me was PC Gamer. So PC Gamer has released a article when it was already absolutely clear that the game has tanked and it's a complete flop. After years of holding out hope, 2024 was the year I finally gave up on BioWare suddenly. Because just a little bit previously, when the game came out last year, 2 months ago, they gave it 79. They gave it a review of 79. Like, come on, guys. Like, that's exactly why a lot of people are calling the journalists actually urinalists. Yeah, because they are like changing their views and changing what they are writing based on what's currently a top or a flop. And as you can see, previously they were praising the game, and now they are suddenly saying like, yeah, we gave up on BioWare. Yeah. Oh, come on. This is the access media. This is actually the type of people where I'm saying I don't trust a single thing they are saying anymore, especially people like IGN. That's just the worst of the worst when you look at what they are writing and what kind of let's say reviews they are giving to games. I already got used to it, so when they are praising a game overly, I know it will be a complete mess and a total flop. And then if they are saying that a game is bad and they don't like it, then yeah, probably it's a game worth buying because it will be actually great. So that's about the view I have about IGN, and that's about how I treat them. And then, we could see the game director leaving ZombieWare. Corinne did leave ZombieWare. And my reaction to that was simply, the cowards now running away. So typical. A lot of people were saying, and this is probably what was happening in reality in the meantime, was that probably Corinne was told to go before they fire him. And I would say, yeah, that's probably how it went down, because EA or ZombieWare didn't want to fire a person from the protected class of people that we have since a few years, and they didn't want the Wokies probably to point the fingers at them. So I would probably say that Corinne got quite a nice package when he was leaving, and probably they paid him something. And now he's writing that he's looking for other opportunities. And the reactions from most of the people online whenever you are opening any of the social media is like, tell me where he ends up, because I will avoid that studio like hell. And then there were also people writing which studio would actually hire him, because that would be suicide. So yeah, the sentiment amongst the players is, I think, the same when we talk about the Corinne. Let me just switch again a little bit. John is writing, the insider reviews are already spurging all over the Assassin's Creed thing. Oh, good Lord, don't talk about that. That's just awful. Yeah. We can go to that one at the end. That's a separate topic of its own. Yeah. And got told to exit. Yeah, EA lost 6 billion in value. Jesus, that's from Tekla. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share actually as well. The EA Electronic Arts has lowered its revenue forecast for its current business year. And I'm not sure if you remember, I was also making jokes and writing in some of my posts on Twitter last year, November, December, that ZombieWare must be very scared to present the financials to EA, because the shareholders will probably not be happy when they see the sales. And it was so obvious when they were so desperately trying to sell a few more copies when they went with the game on sale. Like normally when you have a completely new game, it doesn't go on sale in the first year at least. Like it doesn't. And they just like released the game on the 31st of October, and then already during November, and then in December it was already on sale. Like before the Christmas vacations, if I remember correctly, it was on sale. That you don't do that with a completely newly released game if you are not chasing for some sales numbers. And it doesn't matter if you are saying that you have sold I don't know how many copies, if the revenue behind it is not there because you gave half of them away for a reduced price or just like that, you know. And also, let's not forget, I think the game was part of the like Game Pass, so people could buy a Game Pass, like a monthly pass for some ridiculous price. I don't know, it was like $17-20, and they could play some games from the catalog, and actually Failguard was one of those. And then people play the game for $17 or $20, and then they like again left the Game Pass and just unsubscribed, and that's it, right? So yeah, the revenue is not there, and I do not wonder. And if you look at the shares, I mean, this says it all. The decrease, like in the past 5 days, minus almost 20%. That's crazy. That's crazy if this happens. And it is absolutely clear that like this went down exactly after this announcement. And this announcement was tied to the underperformance of FC5, 25 and Dragon Age, the Failguard. So basically they directly confirmed now that the game was a flop. There's nothing more to be said about it, right? That's just a confirmation for me. Lois is writing, I'm trying to remember, we of course know what project Corinne led, but was there actually anything too controversial or belligerent, she said, at any point? If you remember, there was an interview where they were, before the game even came out, where they were trying to introduce the characters a little bit more in depth, and they were discussing each of the characters. And out of that interview, basically the whole outcome was when Corinne was talking, me. Like the game reflects what I like, and I like this and I like that, and I like this character because of this feature, and I like that character because of that personality trait. So me. It wasn't a like an introduction of the characters. Hey, here's, I don't know, Varric, who could be interesting for you because he used to be a friend with Solas, and they had interesting ties, and they have a history, and who knows how this will reflect upon the game when they meet again. No, it was about like, oh, I don't know, who was it, like, I like Bellara because she's such a fangirl for Neve. Like, that's not an introduction for a character. What do I care if she's a fangirl for Neve? That was pure like projection from Corinne's side, and you could clearly see already the way it was presented was that the devs created characters that like were supposed to represent them, and who cares about what the players want, right? And that's exactly how it was presented also in those bits, and I was like, nah. It was already clear before the game came out that this is not going to be so great. And that was like the first hint already, right? Me. Yeah, in the entire interview. Yeah. John is writing, told us in you, what? Sorry. Voluntold is US Army slang for being ordered to volunteer. Ah, okay. So told to volunteer. Okay. Okay, voluntold. Okay, I'm getting that one. Tekla, I don't know if anyone remembers, but wasn't there a rumor that they wanted to sell 10 million? I think they wanted to sell even more. And only after a few weeks post-launch, it was re-evaluated to 3 million. Yeah. Yeah, John is confirming. Yeah, they expected 10 million. I don't have the numbers in my head, but I think they went like overboard with the first projections, and they had like great ideas about how much they're going to sell. Yeah, they expected it's gonna do Dragon Age Inquisition numbers, but within a few months, all kinds of self-insert from John. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's quite clear why the game failed, and I think that's the problem, these self-inserts. I mean, normally it is natural when people are writing from their own like personal experiences and they bring something of themselves into these game characters because it makes them more like feel alive and realistic. But you should do it in terms of, I don't know, like being consistent with certain traits. Let's say, for example, I'm very stubborn. So I would write a character that would be very stubborn, like throughout the entire story. And because I'm bringing in this own personal trait, it would be, let's say, the consistency would be guaranteed. But they took it as self-inserts in terms of, oh, the person needs to reflect all my problems and all my issues, and yeah, let me put it that way, mental health issues, and that's not what it's supposed to be, honestly, right? Yeah, Louis is writing, fair enough, not trying to white knight here, it just feels like there have been much more avid developers recently, and that's true as well. People who happily engaged in shit-flinging contests with the haters. Yes. Are you talking about someone specific? My keyboard's trolling me today, sorry about the typos. No worries, it's just that I'm sometimes having a problem still to read it. I think I need to change the background to be white because I have now white like white digits on black background, and I think it would be better if I would switch it. Yeah, I probably will have to switch it next time. Yeah, so that much for the EA shares, and while Failguard failed, also the combat is excruciatingly boring and repetitive in Dragon Age Failguard. Yes, I don't think it would be such a problem, like if it would be combat, if the combat would be so repetitive, if it wouldn't take so goddamn long. It was enough for me just to watch the 2 playthroughs that I have seen, and I was like, oh, come on, it took forever. It really took forever. There was like a dragon. I mean, it was also in the vids already visible, which they have released before the game, and then when the people started to play, it was actually visible that it's not just the dragons as enemies where it took you a long time to take them down, but it was basically all of the enemies. The damage that you were doing, but especially the companions, it was absolutely ridiculous. So basically most of the work was done by Rook, and the companions had like minimal damage. Yes, there was like the adjustment possible in like customizing when you were customizing the game, that you could like increase it, but it still didn't help, and you were like staring at a combat that went on like forever because the damage that they were doing were like the health bar was only very, very, very slowly diminishing, and it was like, oh, come on. After 20 minutes you had enough, you know. And I think that's what was the worst part. So not necessarily that it was like boring or repetitive. If it wouldn't take so long, you would just say, okay, let's just accept it for what it is. But it took forever. I think that is what killed it in the end. HP bags. Yes, exactly. I mean, it really was like that was for me the same when I was observing it, the playthrough, the impression that I had also from Mass Effect Andromeda. Like you couldn't really direct your companions towards like any particular specific action because you did have no control over your companions, and I think it would have been much better and you would actually be able to do much more damage if you would have that control, because you still could choose, like in Dragon Age the Failguard, the companion's ability from the wheel. Okay, you do now this and I will do that. But if that companion was in the meantime doing some other action and they were in a cooldown, you were not able to do anything. You were just able to stare at the cooldown at the menu and wait for the cooldown to pass. So again, as long as you cannot really fully control your companions in every sense of the combat, you will still be stuck with them doing whatever they want, and from time to time you can do then some combo. I mean, like I said, when I was watching the playthroughs, I was happy that I didn't buy the game and that I didn't play it, to be honest. And also, honestly, the people were saying that the last 2 hours or 3 hours, like the last act, that it was like good. Okay, it wasn't so boring as the previous game or the game from the start until that point, but still I didn't find it like interesting in any way, to be honest, and it was partially very predictable what's going to happen. So not even that ending was worth it, in my opinion. But there are people who like the game. Who am I to tell you if you should play it or not? I'm sure there were some positives that people found on the game, but for me it was a big nope. And I just noped out of the game, and I was happy when I was seeing the playthroughs that I didn't invest my money into it, honestly. Not even on sale, Good, let me switch back again a little bit and let me check the next notes that I have. And we've got the info that Corinne is leaving. Oh yeah, there was a post which I highlighted, like I marked it for myself, where I said, okay, we have to look at the comment section. The comment section is pure gold. Let me go back to that one. And let me... no, not necessarily this one. I will have to probably bring it up. Yeah, this one, I mean... this one was posted today by Gaming Bolt that was a note that the Failguard will get an update where finally the side quests will be marked with the recommended levels with which you should do these side quests, which wasn't there before. And the update came after everything that has happened already in the meantime. And as you can see, it just has like 2 replies already had at the time when I was opening this. And one of them is from me and the other one is from somebody else, but same sentiment. It's over. Let it go. Relax. It's dead. Nobody cares anymore, right? So, yeah. But let me show you this one. What was that? Was it a vid? I have to check if it was a vid, actually. No, that's Witcher. Dragon Age the Failguard. Oh, yeah. Asmongold did a vid about Corinne leaving. And I really love the replies here or the comment section. And so the parasite leaves the host's corpse in search for another victim. Games journalists, the game is a financial success. If you disagree, you are a bigot. Studio shuts down. Yeah, so there are the comment section. I will post the link if you want, but I think you can find it as well yourself. So it's called Dragon Age the Failguard Director Just Quit. It was posted like almost a week ago, 6 days ago. I love the comment section. There's like 6,000 comments. Have fun. Go ahead, read it. You will have fun, because there's some comments which are like, yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself. So yeah, that one is the one that I wanted to highlight. Yeah. It was just awesome. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, then I have CDPR. So let me just quickly bring up the focus fire. What kind of boomer flamoxery is that? I need to see myself fail over and over. It's my reality. Yeah, I mean, read some of the stuff. I recently watched Akol on TV. He loves to talk EA, BioWare, Ubisoft. Yeah, I've noticed him as well. And I think somebody as well like mentioned him from the bigger YouTubers. They also said like he's having a good channel and he's picking up on these topics too. And he's commenting on what's currently going on. I think he has like, he's catching up on the like latest news always. Every day he's like posting something what's going on, because as I said at the start of the stream, there's been so much going on lately. It's even hard like to catch up on everything, and there's just no way that I could have done all the bits about everything that's currently going on. It's just there's no way that I could have just posted that. So yeah. So if you want some news updates, he's having some good takes, definitely. Let me just switch again a little bit and let me check my notes again. And what do we have? Oh yeah, then I had Witcher 4. Some discussion about the Witcher 4. Yeah, there is also something about CDPR. Again, let's say CDPR was mentioning that they are hiring, or they had a post that they are hiring. And again, that post, if you look at the replies, the comment section is pure gold. So I will show you that one. Like, give me just 1 second. I urgently need to clean my nose. So just a sec. I just turn off the sound. But feel free to post some comments in the meantime. And my apologies for that. I have to say also, I am having issues with my sinuses, and not just like last month or two, but already for a longer time. So I definitely need to visit the doctor to see what's going on, because yeah, it's my nose is getting full completely all the time, and it looks like I'm really not fond of or my sinuses are not fond of the cold currently, because this is going on since like fall, since the weather started to be a bit more cold. So yeah, it's just a confirmation for me. I really need to move to somewhere warm and sunny. Okay, let me go back to what you're writing, Tekla. Oh yeah, because he has an insider in Ubi and Smash covered his video. Yeah, that might be it. Akko does a lot of work on his own. Yeah. And he's digging into details that maybe some people are not mentioning. So he's having not just like his own takes on what's going on, but he's bringing some like new information. As you are saying, he's having an insider in Ubisoft, I think, and he's having therefore some like news that normally other people don't have. So I definitely keep an eye on that channel, because it's always interesting to see when people like him or Smash JT bring some news. Not that I would necessarily like agree with everything or all their takes, I would put it this way. For the most part, I do. But what I appreciate on their channels is exactly this, like they have their insiders and they have this like first-hand information, and they know upfront when something's going on. And this is what I appreciate, that if you want like really the newest updates, it's always good to watch these people who have this kind of like insider feedback and insider knowledge from people from the companies. Alois is writing, having trouble with the Tatran breeze. Yeah, with the cold air here, yeah. A humidifier might help. John, I did try it already, like all sorts of things, like even inhaling like salt water, or what's it called? So I did already all sorts of stuff, and it's just not really helping. I have even like medication from my doctor, which is supposed to be like for people who have very strong allergies, and it's supposed to make sure that you can breathe, your breathing ways are open wide and you can breathe freely and you don't have like a full sinuses. Doesn't help. I'm taking this like for since December, actually. I'm taking this like for a month already, and yeah, same outcome all the time. So I have tried a ton of things. I don't know. Like I said, I probably just need to move to a warm climate. I will manage. You just have to see me sometimes like taking a small break, unfortunately, when I have this live stream. It's easier when I'm recording something because I just stopped the recording. But yeah, during a live stream, it's not so easy to do. But yeah, unfortunately, apologies from my side, yeah. In 10 days, we will know if EA Edmonton shuts down. Why in 10 days? That's, I didn't notice it. Why in 10 days? Let me know. And Louis is writing, what about spas and mineral springs? Quite accessible for you, I think. Yeah. It's not so far away, actually. Like we have like some thermal spas here in the area where I live. So that would be doable, but unfortunately still it's like I would have to like drive there. It's a little bit further away. And just not doable on a very frequent basis, unfortunately, because I have like some other stuff that I am responsible for, let me put it that way. So yeah, it's a nice idea. I would love to, but not really doable that much in real life. I mean, just so you know, because a lot of people don't know, I did write with Snackish Raccoon, who's not here. I was hoping that she will pop in, but yeah, we did talk a little bit also privately, and I said, and also John, you have seen already a couple of things from my Patreon. I do have parents who are old and sick, so they have like chronic diseases, and my mom has the onset of Alzheimer's and my dad has the onset of Parkinson's, so it's not really so great. So basically what I did 5 years ago, thankfully I did manage before COVID. It was a miracle that I managed on time. I did sell my flat. I had a flat in Bratislava, in the capital, I will be honest. So, you know, I'm from Slovakia. So I did sell my flat there, and I moved to my parents' place, but we have like semi-detached, so they are in one portion. They have like their own house, and I moved to the other portion of the house, and then I did it because I wanted to be close to them. And I do have to take care of a lot of stuff, and as time goes by, I have to take care more and more and more about take care about them. So I have to like drive them to the doctors. I have to do some shopping for them. My dad still like manages to do some shopping, even though he's also having a chronic lungs disease. So he's barely breathing, and like he's not going very often on his own. I don't want to let him, but he's stubborn. So he's doing a little bit of a shopping himself, but mainly I have to do the bigger shopping from my side. We have a common garden, which is huge. I have to take care of the garden as well. And then I have my pets and they have their pets, and I also have to take care of that. So thankfully, the only thing that I don't have to take care of, and that's the positive thing when I'm here, I don't have to cook. That was the win for me in this situation. So I don't have to waste time on that. But I have a full-time job, or I used to have. Now I'm going back to it in February. So I was now, I'm sure some of you know, I have been laid off by the end of August. So I have been enjoying some time off, and that's why I was also able to do a couple of more vids than usual on my channel. And now I will be going back to a full-time job, and next to it I will have all these responsibilities that I said. So it will be, it won't be such a big fun anymore for me. So unfortunately, even though I would love to take care of myself a little bit more, I think my primary concern is with with the people who are depending on me, and that's currently my parents and these two households and all these pets there and so on. So yeah, so just so you know, just a little personal insight, but that is also why I was today a little bit late for the stream, because like I said, I had like a little pet emergency, so I had to take care of one of the dogs. Wasn't so well, and that's why I started a little bit late. So yeah, real life happens, so there's a lot of things going on. I still would love to like not have it interfere with what I'm doing here, because this is like a hobby or an outlet for me. I'm playing games anyway. I have been before that anyway, and that's why I started this channel, because there is nobody with whom I could really talk to, even in the family, in the rest of the family. There's really nobody with whom I could talk to about games. So yeah, that's why I'm having this channel, and I love to do these streams and the chats with you. February 5 meeting. That's from John. Okay. Yeah, they will have. Okay. Yeah, they will have on February the 5th. They will know whether they are shutting down the studio or not. Okay. Yeah. My bet is they probably will, because the people who are currently working on Mass Effect, I think maybe they will move there a couple of people, but it doesn't make sense for them to keep the whole studio. I don't think so. And Mass Effect 5 is, I think, being done in a different one. So why keep the Edmonton studio? Yeah, I would say, yeah. Louise is writing, yeah, understandable, hope it gets better. Not everyone lives in Beshenyov. I live quite far away from it. But I live in the area which is like east from the city, from Bratislava, and here there are a couple of spots where you have like geothermal spas, and also not the Hungarian border is not so far away, and they have close to the border also some good thermal spas. So it's doable. It's not a bad idea in general, but it's just not possible like on a regular basis. Yeah. I see why escapism would be something you'd enjoy in your free time, yes, because in my real life, it's like every morning I imagine a long list of stuff to do. And then, yeah, until this list is not like ticked off, I really like cannot like turn my head off and really like enjoy the evening. I really need to like make sure that everything's fine. And then, yeah. Then I sit behind the PC and play a game and enjoy myself. Yeah. So, Snackish Raccoon is here. Yeah, I was just mentioning you actually quickly, shortly before you joined. I said I was hoping that you would be here and that we were also talking a little bit privately. Loving the new glasses. I'm so glad you and the doggos are doing well. Thank you. Yeah, so these are one of those. I was talking at the beginning of the stream that I have like 2 new glasses, because I have to wear, unfortunately, those already. I was at the eye doctor because I see crap already. And yeah, I got a prescription for glasses, so I have like I have 2 glasses done. 2 pairs, not because I'm a fashion aficionado, but simply because they offered like 2 for the price of 1. So I have 2. So these are 1, and the other ones, let me just show you. These are a little bit different. So these are black, as you can see, and they have like a more prominent the frame. I still like them. And the other ones are like more delicate, and they have like a reddish frame, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure which ones you like more. Let me know. Don't worry, it makes you look distinguished as long as I don't open my mouth, right? Yeah, I think I will switch at the moment to the other ones. They are a little bit lighter, I have to say, because of the frame. So they feel a little bit lighter. Yeah. Okay. I still have to get used to them a little bit and seeing myself in the glasses. Yeah. But thank you. Okay, let me go to the topics. I'm still independent, but my property looks like Chernobyl exclusion zone. That's from John. Yeah, that's the problem. Like when you get older, you don't like manage to take care of everything anymore, and that's why I'm also here, and like that's why I wanted to move here, because I really wanted to help them, because I could see that they don't manage anymore. You could see that, like you went into the garden and you had like a grass that was like 0.5 meter tall, and yeah, it didn't look so great, and the fruit was on the trees and nobody picked it up and stuff like that. There's a couple of fruit trees. So yeah, we have also a walnut tree. That's exactly what I had the problem now with the dogs. They the walnuts, even if you clean it up in fall before winter, there is still some remaining nutshells on the ground, and if you step on that, and especially the dogs, if they step on it, sometimes it's like stuck here in the paw and it can hurt them. So I had to take it out when I came from the garden with the dogs, and it took a little bit because I didn't want to like mess it up and didn't want to make like injure the dog. So there's a ton of work, both outside as well as inside. And let me tell you, I have already started this year. I mean, I'm, like I said, since 5 years here. And I have started last year actually already, like calling people for like services, like to clean up at least from time to time, because I can't manage to clean up everything on my own. The garden, I also had some help with the garden already, because the garden is relatively big, and I don't manage that on my own, to be honest. So yeah, so yeah, it's in case you're wondering why I'm saying that I don't manage this on my own. Yes, I'm alone and single, but it's, I also talked with Snackish Raccoon about this already. I had a long-term relationship. I hope I'm not bothering you with that one, sorry, but I just want to explain a little bit of background. And we separated at the time when I sold the flat, and when I came here, so we were like almost 15 years together. And I think it kind of like just fit the time. At that moment, it just fit. I already started to focus more on helping, my parents. I could really see they're not managing anymore. And yeah, it was, I think, a good change, to be honest. Yeah, but still, when I came here, I was able to do a little bit more during the day and during the week. And I didn't have like these health issues like I have now with the sinuses, for example. And my parents were still a little bit like healthier. Like they were not really having great health, but they still managed to do at least a little bit as well in the garden as well as inside. Now it's no longer possible. So yeah, when I have to take care of everything myself, I really had to start like calling already some people like to help us out with the garden and with the household. So yeah, that's the current situation. And talking about that, actually, that's also why I'm so happy, to be honest, about the memberships that I have unlocked. I come back to my channel here because I honestly, I would really appreciate if people would, hit the join button. It's not a big amount, but it's a little bit that would help me out every month, at least like let's say in paying for this channel because I would like to, buy a better camera, for example, or, buy a second monitor. I'm still having only one monitor. I don't have a second one. And I don't want to take out these funds out of the fund that I have for the family, because I rather need it for the, services that I need for my parents or for myself, and then for the house, etc. So I don't want to really waste that money on, let's say, equipment for YouTube, because that's really not so important. But if the channel would be, let's say, bringing in some small amount of money, it would be really great, because I could actually afford that. So in case you're wondering why should I, be a member, or why I should, help you out, it's basically just so that I can, have, let's say, more quality content. And my absolute dream is to pay an editor. So I am absolutely crazy when I have to edit stuff. So I love to actually create the vids, and I have a lot of ideas. And I have already some stuff that I have pre-recorded, but when I have to sit down and have to start editing, the editing usually takes me like 2 or 3 times as much as the creation of the rest of the video, like the thumbnail and the script and the recording. And I'm spending like 2 or 3 times more time on the editing, and I'm just going crazy, and I'm not so great with it. So my absolute dream for the future is to be able to pay an editor who would be editing. So yeah, that's just like an FYI for you. And yeah. Oh, John became a member. That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's great. So yeah, I just wanted to explain a little bit of background so you get an idea, maybe why I'm sometimes late for the streams, or why I have, established these memberships and stuff like that. Because like I said, like every little bit helps, Yeah, let me go back a little bit to what you were writing, because I was talking a long time now. Louise is writing, I've always been partial to rimless glasses myself. Oh, so you have glasses as well? That's good to know. So we are more here. John, I had to get my lenses replaced. It was really a godsend. Yeah, so I can see a lot of people actually really, I think the older you get, the more you just need glasses, and especially in this day and age when we are working so much with the PCs, the eyesight gets wrecked a little bit faster. Yeah. Snackish. No, when you open your mouth, you verify that you are indeed distinguished. 2 for 1 sounds like a great deal. Hopefully glasses aren't very expensive over there. I will be honest, I paid 400 euros. The frame was like 120 something, but the lenses, the glasses and the work was then the rest amount. But if you take it from, if you look at it from this point of view, I've got 2. So technically 1 pair only cost me 200. So for some countries, it will be like a very small amount. For some people, it will be like a huge one. Yeah, for me, I would say it's, for us, it's relatively expensive, but thankfully you don't need the glasses replaced so often. So 400 is fine when I know that I will be having the glasses for at least, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years until I have to probably get some new ones. So I think that's still doable. Oh my God, poor fur babies. Yeah, poor as poor. I mean, they are doing some nonsense even if I told them not to. So technically, it's their own fault as well. Louis is writing, sad to hear that. Again, wishing good luck in the future. I'm sure your choices are appreciated. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Snackish. Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. John, you are the best. Yes, you are. Thank you. Thank you. Really, that's awesome. I thought that was, no, the memberships were just unlocked. Like I did just unlock them like recently, so I didn't even expect anyone to become a member until I mentioned it maybe on a stream or in a vid. So not everyone noticed it, so that's okay. Yeah, but at least you have like a couple of small perks now. Well, who doesn't have them these days from Louis? Yeah, you would be surprised, but actually there are a few of like my friends who are the same age, like they are 50. They have no glasses. They have perfect eyesight. I'm envious. I have like I don't need glasses to look like far out. I don't know what's it called in English. So I really need just glasses for reading and for working with the PC. But when I was there like 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks ago at the eye doctor, and she was like, oh, but regarding like you looking into the like looking far out, like your eyesight is perfect. You see perfectly well. You don't need any glasses. Nice for your age. And I was like, oh, happy. And then she told me, yeah, but for reading you need this and that. And I was like, oh, come on. So yeah, one thing is good, that I really need only the glasses when I'm like writing or working with the PC, but then I need to have them constantly. And I, for example, don't need to have them in the car. That's also a plus point for me, to be honest. Yeah. So, yeah, John is writing, good thing my kids didn't see that. They suspect I'm going senile anyway. I won't tell. Snackish Raccoon is saying, that's pretty great. My prescription is not that expensive either. I paid $350 recently because I chose the highest quality lenses as my old glasses broke. Yeah, I have those as well, which are like I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's like a little bit purplish. So these are the ones that you can use like when you're working with the PC. They are like filtering out this blue light that's emitted by the screen. So I have these as well. Snackish, my older siblings have more serious prescriptions. My oldest brother used to have to pay almost $1,000 for his glasses. Oh my god. So he got that laser surgery thing because that was ridiculous. Like, yeah, if you would have to pay like $1,000 for glasses, the eye surgery is costing less here, honestly. Like, yeah, I was looking at the prices when I was there in the clinic, and they are doing like all sorts of surgeries, and it actually doesn't cost that much. I was looking at it because my mom will probably need a surgery as well. She has this gray, not sure what's it called, like this, her eyesight, she's losing her eyesight, and she's not really, she's seeing less and less, and she's only starting to see already sometimes like only like dark and like black and white, or dark and light and whatever. So she's like losing her eyesight pretty fast. And the doctor told me, if your mom has this, like high time that she comes in for an operation before she loses like the eyesight completely, because that's when we cannot do anything anymore. And I'm like, oof, okay. Yeah, so that's the next thing where I will be having to take her for like a couple of doctor's visits, and I'm just hoping that I will not inherit it, to be honest. I wouldn't want to lose my eyesight when I'm old. That would be crap. John is writing, I never needed glasses, then I got cataracts. Now with lens replacement, no glasses again. That's what my mom needs, so it's cataracts, okay, because for us we call it like gray, I don't even know what the word would be, like the cataracts, yeah. Snackish, so yeah, glasses can get pretty expensive no matter the country. I think it all depends on the severity of the problem. And Louis is writing, near far-sightedness. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I see perfectly up close but get pretty blind at distance, and I have the opposite. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So, oh damn. So you need then for when you're driving. So you need then glasses when you're driving, I guess, right? Okay, that's an interesting discussion that we're currently having. Glasses. Who would have thought? Okay, guys, let me quickly check on the other topics because we still have a lot to go. And I'm not sure if you want to hang around a little bit more with me. I hope you do. Let me check what we still have. Sorry to hear that. I hope everything turns out great for you and your mama. That's from Snackish. And Louise is confirming. Yep. Yeah. Oh gosh, get her the cataract surgery. It is a miracle. Yeah. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really cost that much. So I will have to do that with her. Yeah, because I really don't want to. I'm already, at least at this point, I'm happy that they are still like both, that they are two, like my mom with my dad, because at least they are looking out for each other, at least like during the day when I have no time for them. Because I'm not sure at this point if I would leave her alone, to be honest. Not really seeing that well, and then like forgetting oftentimes stuff, it's not a great combo, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah. What do I have? Okay, Witcher 4. Good. I'm not sure if you. It's outpatient procedure. Okay, and Snackish is writing, Louis, that sounds like astigmatism. Okay, what do you mean with outpatient procedure? I will now honestly ask, because I'm not sure if I ever heard this term. Outpatient procedure. Let me know. I'm learning new stuff here. And at least regarding the medical terms, I'm not so versed in English in those medical terms, to be honest. So I'm not sure what that would mean. But yeah, I will definitely have to take her there. Yeah, okay. So Louis was replying to Snackish. Witcher 4. I'm not sure if you have heard. But the Witcher 4 devs want to explore something in their game, which sounds kind of funny and is, I would say, just another red flag for me. Oh no, hospitalization. Yeah, okay, that's what you mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing it like we call it like a day operation. So it's like you come in the morning and then they do the operation during the day, and in the afternoon you go home. So yeah, that's the same then. Okay. Happened to me when I was turning 14. Now I'm 44 and it hasn't progressed much. Okay, so at least like in 20 years it didn't got worse, but I think when you get older it might be a little bit more critical. Do you have to like keep do you have to do like specific treatment for your eyes and something, or just like keep the glasses on? I would be wondering, because that's an interesting topic now. I would love to know. Let me clean my nose again a little bit, sorry. Okay, back. I was wondering if I didn't forget to turn off the mic. That wouldn't be so great. Okay, let me go to those Witcher items. Let me just quickly see what I have. Oh yeah, and let me check the other stuff as well in the meantime before I switch screens. Okay, so we've got that one. We've got that one. Let me just throw out the stuff that we already reviewed. And okay, yeah, let me switch the screen now. And there we go. Desktop. And I can see on my screen in the upper left corner like a black square. Can you see it as well, or can you see the screen like normally? Because it's kind of irritating me and I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Louis is writing again, just a common nearsightedness. I simply wear glasses when I'm out and about, nothing else. Really? Okay, good. Yeah, I was wondering. I was. It's always sad to hear when I also like when I hear that other people like have some health issues, whatever it is, and it's just. I think people oftentimes don't realize how happy they are or how lucky they are when they have like no health issues at all. I think you only realize it once they start to come, how obnoxious it can be and how lucky you were before. So yeah, there are 2 black squares in the way. Black square, damn it. Okay, so I think this is because of the studio and the chat which I have there, and if I move the chat it will be crap. Okay, let me just close at least this one. Okay, and the other one that's not so, that's actually the screen where I see the chat, and I can try to play around with it. Let me see if I can move it. Yeah, I will have to do it probably off stream then. Let me try to fix this for the next stream in February, and let me try to do it differently. I have seen a couple of people having actually the chat directly like in the screen, so it's like having that you can see the chat messages popping up directly on the desktop screen. I will have to play around with it because I think it's doable. I'm just not such a huge like technical talent, so I will have to play around with it. But for the next stream, I will try to play around with the settings a little bit. Thought about getting a laser surgery, but currently it's a bit too expensive and I might be getting too old for it. I don't think you're getting too old for it. I think it's if it's necessary, or if the nearsightedness or farsightedness is getting like too big, it's better to operate, like having glasses, I think so. And I don't think they look necessarily at your age. I mean, they are doing operations for people who are over 60, so I would go for it if I would be you, if you can afford it. Snackish is writing, don't worry, everyone is sick nowadays, don't worry, it is yet another sad sign of the times, unfortunately. And John is writing, yeah, 2 years ago I stepped on my rope hem, fell down my stairs backwards and broke my spine. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oof. I mean, are you okay? Or are you having like any trouble still or something? Because breaking your spine in 3 places, that sounds horrible, honestly. Oof. Yeah, and falling down the stairs backwards. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's crap. Louise is writing, oh, sure, I simply heard that they get less effective past the age of 30. Oh, yeah, you mean the like correction of the corrective surgery. I think it depends on your health overall. Because I know people, like I said, who are like not having any problems with their eyesight, even though they are like older. And then you have people who are relatively young and have already more problems. I think it depends in general on the health condition of the person. It's a good question, but I would probably ask if I would be you. Yeah, John, I'm stubborn. Oh, come on. What does that mean, you're stubborn? Come on. So you managed to be fine. I hope you don't have like any like long-term problems afterwards. Because that sounded really terrible, John. Oof. I'm stubborn. Yeah, welcome to the club. Yeah. I have to use a cane, but I bought an awesome one. Oh, wow. Okay, so if it's... Okay, if the only outcome is that you have to use a cane, I think with breaking your spine in 3 places, this is still a good outcome. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But you have to take some pictures of the cane sometime. I would really love to see that when you're writing. It's an awesome one. And Louis is writing, I've talked about it with a 50-year-old guy who got the surgery for the 2nd time. Okay. Okay, so he had to like repeat it already. Yeah, but I still think as long as you are like capable of taking it and as long as you are like capable of, as long as you're able to heal, and with 34 you're still able to heal faster than somebody with 60 or 70, I think you should probably go for it, at least now. And Snackish is writing, oh my god, John, my neighbor fell and broke her spine too, and she had to wear that metal vest thing for months, but thankfully it didn't impact her mobility at all. Thankfully, I hope you have recovered too. And Lois is writing, a snazzy bloodborne sword cane. And John is writing, yeah, I'm full of titanium. Oh my goodness. That means you cannot do an MRI, right? That would not be so great. Oh, good lord. That's also crap in a certain sense. You have to be very careful now when you are like near certain, let's say, medical devices, I would say. Phew. Oh crap. Wow. Okay, that's something that is really like surprising to me when I'm hearing this. Not normally when you hear like somebody broke their spine so severely, like in 3 places, it's usually not really great outcomes. But when I read that you basically only need a cane, then yeah, I have to knock on wood. Hopefully you can hear that. So yeah, I'm glad that you're just full of titanium with 1 cane. Wow. We should call you John Logan Grant from now on then. Titanium is okay in MRI. Oh really? Is it? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, because I thought like anything that you have in your body which is like not which is like made out of metal is a problem in MRI. That was a nerdy Wolverine joke, sorry. But we've got it, I think. Yeah. I have a traditional ash farmer's cane. Okay, I have to Google that one. Let me Google it now. Let me look it up right away. What is it? Ash farmer's cane? Oh, wow. Okay. But it comes in various colors. It actually doesn't look so bad. Yeah, you have to let me know which one it is. Let me go back to the other screen so I can see you. Oh my god, Sisa, that knock. I thought someone was knocking on my door. No, that was just me on the table. Okay. Yeah, so it's this like kind of traditional cane. But they still, like, I think they can make them look very elegant and very nice, yeah. And it's like 11:18 at night here. I was like, what? Okay. For me, it's currently 10 something. Yeah, let me check. Yeah, 10:19, so 10 p.m. 19. So I have 1 hour less than you. And John is writing, they gave me a walker and I put it in the dumpster. Okay, I'm starting to understand why you said that you are stubborn. It makes sense now. Okay, good. Let me go back probably to what I wanted to show you. So regarding Witcher, I'm not sure if you have seen that, but they said that they want to tackle a woman's struggle in a medieval world. And when I was reading this, I was like, hell no, please no. I mean, I just want to play a fun game with a good protagonist. And whenever, and we talked about the escapism, whenever I go to my games, I just want to like turn my head off. And that the last thing I want to talk about or think about is a woman's struggles during medieval times. Like, seriously. So honestly, for me, this is just like another red flag, to be honest. Like, come on. You want to explore sexism and gender politics in a medieval world. Are you serious? So that was quite a disappointment when I have seen this. I mean, I had my reservations with the game previously. I'm sure you have seen it in my vid as well. I was mainly focused on the lore and on whether Ciri should or should not be a Witcher in like the real sense of the word, like Witcher physically, and I wasn't really talking about the other issues or the other red flags that much, but when I'm seeing this, I really at this point I have more hope for the former CDPR devs and for Blood of Dawnwalker than this one, to be honest, from CDPR. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game, it can be still a great game, but it's a question of how they want to tackle this topic, because it can be done in a good way and it can be done in a bad way. We've seen Dragon Age the Failguard, right? So yeah, it's not so great. And then, okay, this one was more interesting. I just don't like it that it was... Okay, it switched back now. And then there was this topic. Let me just quickly mention this one as well, because it is my impression as well. So there was a person, and then I have seen more people saying the same, that they think that there are some bots who are like defending The Witcher 4. And the question is whether CD Projekt Red actually like paid the bots or not. That's pure speculation. But nevertheless, I do have the same feeling because I have seen it. Let me show you where it comes from. There was this post where a woman, that's actually a woman, like she's mentioned here, she wrote, "The books portray the gritty, dark nature of warfare in horrifying detail, including Ciri being nearly raped on multiple occasions while she and Geralt are separated. I don't want to play a game about that." And that's in relation to the books, right? So this is in terms of when they said that they will be focusing on Ciri as the next main protagonist, and they want to take also from the books something like how to what they want to mention in the game. To be able to depict like her background, she was having this concern, which basically has nothing to do with Ciri being a Witcher. It was regarding the world where the story is taking place and what Ciri actually in the books had to go through. And the response here, if you look at the response, it doesn't make sense. It talks basically about Ciri being a Witcher, and it is a response is as if she would be complaining about Ciri being a Witcher. That's not the point of her post, and the response doesn't make sense. It looks like taking out of the context and just being copy-pasted from somewhere else, or just actually really being a bot, which is not really reacting to what she actually wrote. And I have seen something similar also on YouTube. I have been watching a couple of vids regarding the Witcher 4, like from other YouTube creators, and I wanted to see like what their takes are on what we have seen so far from the game. And every time when somebody in the comment section, even on YouTube, was like chiming in with some criticism that had nothing to do with Ciri being a Witcher. The people were, for example, saying something about her looks, or they were saying something about like how she behaved, that she behaved like Geralt, which I also mentioned, like that they are basically copy-pasting like Geralt scenes, and they are just repeating it. And some people like thought it looks kind of like a cheap knockoff, and they should have done like a different scene with Ciri where she would like, let's say, assert her dominance, and where she would like react to the situation, but not with the same word and with the same way as Geralt did in the previous games. And again, you could see replies that looked like completely out of context, where the replies were like some bots that were talking about like, why are you criticizing Ciri being a Witcher? Nobody said anything about that. So it really looked kind of strange. I'm not sure if you have had the same experience. Let me just maybe go back and see what you are writing. I have to scroll a little bit. Yeah, Snackish is writing, I wouldn't mind them exploring such themes in an actual medieval world, but not in a world with magic. It makes zero sense. Once again, this is injecting modern issues into everything once again. Yes, and especially when you consider that by the end of the Witcher 3 game, the previous game, she was already a very powerful character. She had her own abilities, which were being the lady of space and time, but on a level that nobody could ever beat, right? So you want to explore this kind of topic like in her story. I don't know, like I said, it can be done in a good way, but it can be done in a bad way. We've seen recently how it looks like when you're doing it in a bad way. So I guess it will be depending a lot on the writers. John is saying there's a DLC for KCD does that. Oh, I wasn't aware because I haven't played the first game. I will be honest, I have bought the first Kingdom Come Deliverance game. It was recently on sale, so I did buy it. And regarding the second, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it, but that's a topic, again, like a different topic that I wanted to actually talk later about. That controversy that we have currently seen. Snakish is writing, John, yes, exactly. I love the character so much. My Henry always romances her. She is such an amazing character and deserves to be happy with Henry. Okay, so I can see that there is obviously something in the first game that was in relation to this topic. And in that case, if you're seeing it in this positive light, then it means that the writers have been like tackling the issue or the problem in a good sense. That is something that is so important. Like you can bring in real life, let's say, problems into games in case they are something which is like crossing generations, which is something that people are struggling with now as they have been, for example, in the past. And it is something different when you bring in like pronouns and I am non-binary, right? So that's the difference. And I think, okay, so when you're saying that there is a character that was like tackled in a positive way, I think I need to play the game then, definitely. So John is agreeing. Yes, I am getting tired of trans takes. Louise is writing, I don't know, it's just such a non-statement. I'll reserve my judgment for later when there's more info. I mean, that's why I'm saying I'm currently only, let's say, picking on that stuff that doesn't make sense for me in terms of like Ciri being a Witcher. It is a contradiction to the original lore for me. And that's where I have a problem with. I didn't really go into any of the other stuff that much because we have seen only one trailer so far. And the reality is, like already a couple of people mentioned, and as we have already seen as well, the Witcher 3 trailers, when they were created before the game even came out, they also depicted Vesemir differently, Geralt differently, Yennefer differently. So they looked in the game different than how they did look in the trailer. So that's why I'm not really like, yeah, to me she didn't look really so great in the trailer, but that doesn't necessarily mean this will be how she will be looking in the game in the end. So yeah, we have to wait and see, right? But what I'm just saying is that this is just another red flag in terms of the writing that we have been now mentioning, that if they do it in the right way and it will be fitting the setting and the story, then great. I'm sure it will be a good addition for the game. But if they do it as bluntly as they did it, for example, in ZombieWare with Dragon Age, the Failguard, then yeah, it will just backfire, you know. So I'm currently like having some reservations, let me put it that way. Snackish is writing, it wouldn't be the first time a company has used bots to promote and shields for their games, so I'm not really surprised. Yeah, it was something that I've noticed across multiple social media platforms. So it was on YouTube, it was on X, I think somebody mentioned that it was also in somewhere on a Facebook group or something like that. I'm not really following them on Facebook, but I think it was somewhere else as well. So there were more hints or more of these kind of weird posts where it really looked like bots. Trent is a hammer in search of a nail. Okay, which Trent are you talking about? That would be interesting for me, to be honest. So many people out there doing now content regarding the current games. Snackish is writing, personally, I don't get the hate about her looks. She looks fine to me, but then again, I'm not attracted to women, so maybe this is a genuine problem for guys. I would just say maybe the difference between what people were used to in The Witcher 3 and what you see now in the Witcher 4 trailer. In general, for me, when they wanted to like age her, I would expect certain features which she had in The Witcher 3 still to be there, just let's say aged. And she's not just aged, she's a little bit changed, and I think that's what people have noticed. That's why some people have pointed out that her looks are really like off. Like if you're comparing it to the previous game. I don't think it's just like aging the character. I think they did change something like on her face or facial structure. I can't really point my finger at it, to be honest. It's just something seems off to me when you compare them two. And I think that's what the people have a problem with, to be honest. Lois is writing, Aidin is a strange one, part of the old YouTube skeptosphere with some skeletons in her closet. She's smart, I'm sure, but she keeps weird company. And the reply to Snacky, she looks fine. Some people see her new looks as downgrade, but I don't feel that way. Yeah, some people see it as downgrade, but there were some people who were basically saying the same. I think she looks different. And it is not just aging her. Like I said, I think there is something off. Siri looks fine in that vid. That's from John. Snackish writes, to me, Louis, she just looks older, and that is fine. I'm glad to hear some men understand that women age too. We don't always look like we're 20. He can confirm. The non-statement comment was about the original article's title. Okay, good. Snackish, honestly, a lot of this particular criticism is just bad faith, preemptive bashing. There is a lot of it going on, yes. There is a Polish Witcher superfan named Darrah who did a vid. Siri is a Witcher now. That is a great take. Okay, I have to check that one out. I haven't watched it yet. I have noticed it on my feed. It popped up a couple of times, but I haven't had the time yet to watch it, so I definitely have to. And Snackish, exactly, Louis, plus the screenshot they parade around as her being ugly are taking mid-fight. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, talking so obviously she looked weird, so I don't see that what was wrong with her. Older women loved Hild in The Last Kingdom. But like I said, you can like age the character by still keeping the same features. And for the most part, they did it with Siri, but there is something changed. And like I said, I can't put my finger on it exactly, but something seems to be off for me. So she's not just aged. There is something different about her face. I don't know what. And I think that's what, like, why people feel that she was changed or downgraded or however you want to call it, right? So I think there's something more going on with her face. Yeah. Let me check what else do we have there. Oh yeah. CDPR is looking for people to hire. And I just wanted to mention again, this is a post where the comment section is like really nailing it because people have been so pissed about like their, let's say, DEI ESG takes. and the programs that they are running on their page now, aside from like Witcher 4, we are not necessarily talking about Witcher 4, but what they were like promoting on their sites and what kind of people they are trying to hire, I would say. And as you can see, some people have like picked up on that, and I'm a white girl, but heterosexual is the problem. So people are really like reacting to that hiring post, not in a great manner. So I just wanted to mention this. I will be posting this in the link in the description, and you can like read for yourself. I mean, in general, the responses are not so great. There are people who are like happy about this, and there are then people who really are like bashing them for the ESG stuff that they have been promoting on their pages. So yeah, that much for The Witcher. Let me see. Let me check. The eyes, she lost her green eyes. That's what I think too. Like she has but I think it's because she's now a Witcher, and they said she's a Witcher, so they are more yellowish. I think that is one of the things that is a little bit off. I'm not sure what exactly it was that, like in general, the eye area or this. I'm not sure. I still remember when The Witcher 2 was coming out, and the first couple of trailers had Geralt with a completely different face. Exactly, yeah, they eventually redid it, so nothing new. That's from Lewis. And that was the same also for The Witcher 3. There were trailers with Geralt and Vesemir. If you remember, there is this trailer Killing Monsters. I think it's called like Killing Monsters. And if you look at the trailer, both Geralt and Vesemir are looking completely different than they are looking in the game in the end. So yeah, that's why I'm like not yet saying anything that much about her face, because she might look weird here only maybe because it's a trailer, and maybe she will be looking more as she did in The Witcher 3 than when you see the final game. It's hard to tell, Her face reminds me of modern day lip injection obsessed Instagram models. That was kind of weird, but other than that, I don't see what the big fuss was all about. That's from Snackish. I think the lips, though, those were actually quite close to what they were in Witcher 3. We would have to compare side by side. Maybe let me do a vid on that. Like, she's a bit puffy. Not necessarily. I mean, she had like these cheekbones as well already in the third game. I will try to do a side-by-side comparison now that we are talking about it, if that makes sense. Yeah, but I think she's just older. Yeah, the eyes are due to the trial of the grasses. That's from Snackish. And the cat lenses. Yeah, that's from John. So yeah, I think there is some changes are there which are noticeable, that are like making people uncomfortable why they are highlighting it. And then on the other hand, like I said, maybe we will be having something completely different in the game, and the look will be different. It's just a trailer for this moment. I'm more worried about the lore breaking stuff, to be honest, rather than her looks at this point. But I'm going to see what they are going to say the closer we get to the release of the game, and what kind of more materials we get, and if we get some gameplay trailers and stuff like that. It will be more interesting, and then when we see something more directly from the game, like the gameplay, and how she looks then in reality in the game, to judge her looks. For me, I'm currently really a little bit worried about the lore twisting and breaking. Yeah, let me put it that way. Good. What else do I have? Let me check the notes, because I had actually quite a lot. Blood of Dawnwalker, we mentioned that one. So yeah, I've made a bit about it. I wanted to show you, in case you are interested. They have actually posted a couple of more updates on their Twitter pages. I'm not sure if it's on their homepage as well, but it is definitely on their Twitter pages. And if you look at their pages, they have posted specific like information regarding these vampires that will be in the game. So you have the character introduction for multiple of these characters now, basically about all of those that we could see in the trailer. And I think it's interesting to see that they are introducing more stuff, and then also they have posted some concept art, additional concept art. I'm not sure if it's on their webpage as well. I have tried to have a look, but I'm not sure if it's here. I have only seen the same information that was there already like 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm not sure if there is anything updated here, but on their like Twitter profile, definitely yes. So if you are interested in more info, you can check that one out. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, that one is related already to Kingdom Come Deliverance. And another game that is like shrouded in controversy currently. I honestly, I don't even want to like set my foot into these discussions because it's just going crazy from both sides from what I have seen. Like people are just going nuts. I have to say I do have one thing that I am a little bit worried about. Again, it's one thing that's kind of weird to me, but it's at this point one little thing, and I don't honestly really don't care. It's not really that much in relation to the game as such. It's in general with games, I would say, right? The question here that the people were posting, like Henry is suddenly gay, etc. I don't think he's suddenly gay. They just gave you an additional option. Okay, good. What is a little bit weird to me, honestly, is that when you have an established character, and that I think that this was something that was pointed out in some of the posts. Unfortunately, I couldn't find them before the stream. But there have been some posts which Vavra, the games director, had a few years back when Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first one, when it came out, and basically he said like you are playing as Henry and you really don't have any choices in terms of how to shape Henry. He is like a predefined character which is like this and this and this. And then the second game now comes out, and the statement from Vavra is, now you are playing yourself, you're not playing Henry. And this is something where I am like having a concern with in terms of how much they have changed maybe the game or the story. And it's not meant in as a criticism without like some background knowledge or without a proof. I don't want to criticize something I haven't seen, especially when I haven't played the first game. But this is something that I've always found a little bit weird, that if you have already something established in one game or in a book or in a movie or in a series, wherever, and you have established certain characters in a certain way, and you are saying this is who they are and how they are, and then come next game or next series or next whatever, and suddenly you are changing it. This is what is weird for me, because then I have the feeling that they are not being consistent. Okay, it's not related now to whether he's bisexual or gay, or whether they introduce 100 different new characters. I don't really care. For me, it's just like a symptom of the topic that I'm trying to mention or explain now. I don't really like when the creators of something, whether it's books or a TV series or games, are changing something, let's say, fundamental. It's the same with the Witcher 4 probably trailer where I said my biggest problem here is not the looks of Ciri or maybe what she said or how she said it, even though I didn't really like some of the stuff. But my biggest problem was that breaking of the lore and that big of a change. And I think this is something that's a little bit bothering me here as well, is not necessarily what they introduced, but the way how they introduced it, especially considering what they said a few years back. And now they're like backpedaling. So I'm kind of concerned like what effect this will really have on the game, if it will be having, like if there will be any bigger changes and what kind of change there will be between the second and the first one. I would still love to go and play the first one before I go into the second, and I will probably just buy the second later and play it. But it's just this kind of, I just find it weird. It's kind of an inconsistency for me. I don't know what you think. It would be interesting to hear what's your opinion on that. Let me read what you've written. Yeah, Snackish is writing, anyway, unfortunately I have to go to bed, it's almost 12 here and I have to wake up to go grocery shopping in the morning as I won't have much time during the rest of the weekend. Understandable, but in any case, have a beautiful weekend. I hope you don't have too many chores and manage to relax a little bit. And yeah, I'll definitely send you a couple of messages. John is writing, at least fans really, really want a playable Ciri. Who in hell wanted Tash? Yes, that's a good point. That's a very good point. And Snackish, as I have some work to catch up to. Oh, damn. No, please take some time off to... Dawnwalker. I can't for this. It has hit all the right boxes for me. Yeah, for me too. I mean, I really liked what I have seen so far from the first game, as well as like what they are talking about from the second game. So I'm not deterred by this controversy right now. I'm not really like put off. I just said like this one little thing is kind of weird for me. So I don't know what kind of impact it will have on the game. Snackish, anyway, have a great rest of the day, night, everyone. It was lovely to talk with all of you and meet you too, Louis. Yeah, have a great weekend. I can do horror. I would not sleep for months. That's coming from John. I'm actually planning to introduce some games here on this channel which are not horror, so you have something to look forward to, don't worry. I will still keep an eye on the Blood of Dawnwalker. I find it quite kind of interesting what they have shown us so far, but I have definitely something in the pipeline that is not horror related, so no worries, there will be something where you should be able to have some fun watching it, not necessarily some horror. Okay, and then yeah, KCD2. The KCD2 rage baiting is pretty stupid. Yeah, I think as well. Like if you look at how many, there was one or two posts which were kind of vague from the studio, and then you suddenly had like a huge increase in videos produced by all sorts of YouTubers, where people were like really inflating the issue, and it was awful. I think actually Nura had quite a good take on that, to be honest, where she said like, come on, you can still enjoy the game, it's just an option, right? They just introduced a new option, and as I said, people are having problem with let's say sexuality. My problem is less with the point that there have been introduced new options for sexuality. My problem is more like it's a change to an established character from the first game. So that's why I'm wondering like where this change is coming from. That's my only like problem that I see with it currently, but not with the game as such, and definitely not with introducing another option. I don't care as long as it's not Tash and Failguard levels of writing, right? But I doubt that with KCD. Yeah, John is saying, yes, the addition is wrong for an established Henry. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they would be introducing it maybe for a different character, or if they would be introducing it in a different scenario or an option not for Henry, or if it would have been already in the first game, it would be much more acceptable and understandable. But this kind of change is now just weird, to be honest. But like I said, but it's not the main point of the game, so yeah. Alois is writing, stage 1 of a gaming outrage, gaming puritans lick Vavra's boots for historical accuracy. Stage 2, Vavra's ego shoots into the stratosphere and begins presenting himself as a crusader for anti-wokeness. And stage 3, Vavra is suddenly everywhere in the news talking about politics and stuff he should just shut up about. Stage 4, gaming flops piss off more gaming puritans, and as soon as there's something they don't like, they turn on their savior. Yeah, I think that is something where I think the problem is as well, like, their savior. They understood him as that person who is like bashing everything that's woke, and they took it to the extreme, let's say, projecting some stuff into what he said, maybe what he didn't really say or what he didn't mean. That's one of the things. The other things is, yes, he did say a lot of the stuff that put him in a certain spot and in a certain corner, and now whatever he will do or say, it will be looked at through the lens of, is it still fitting that corner, or is it something outside of that box? And if it's outside of that box, it will be exactly the reaction of the people, as you're saying, like everybody will turn on him because suddenly they think he's like doing something completely different than he's supposed to. I don't understand like why people don't see the reality that one person can have very nuanced opinions on something. Nothing is just simply black and white, and whenever he said something, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It is said in a certain context in that particular moment, and a few years later, when you are saying something in a different context, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going against what you've said before. Now, when we are talking about Henry and how Henry was established, yes, there is a difference between what he was saying previously, what he's saying now. I think it partially has something to do with the Embracer group that has bought them. And I think that he needs to kind of play along now. So that may be one of the reasons why he's now saying a little bit something different. But he didn't introduce certain things in the games so far that would really make me go and say, I don't want to play your game because it's woke. I don't think it's necessarily woke because of one additional choice. I just find it weird that there is a difference in this established character, but we already said that, right? Stage 5, Vavra assumes he's untouchable and starts fighting the admittedly annoying Puritans. A disaster is born no matter if there is actually any controversy to be found in the game. Sorry about the dump. That's not a dump, it's a good summary, actually, really. I didn't like his responses to some of the people, even though the comments that he has received, it was quite clear that they have been done in bad faith. There were people commenting on some of his posts on Twitter in a really nasty manner. I wouldn't want to be in his skin, to be honest. If I would be him, though, I would just ignore it. This is exactly the problem that we have seen lately so many studios doing, like people, either the community managers or someone from the studio, like going into discussions with people on social media, their potential buyers and customers, and actually starting to argue with them. And that's no matter what you are going to say in this case, it's going to turn away a portion of your customer base. In these cases, it would have been, I think, much better to just be quiet and don't respond. Just don't care. just leave it be, let the game speak for itself, or just maybe say something in kind of a neutral way. I think there was a bit again from Laura, and she mentioned there as well, how should the devs respond to this kind of critiques, and she said it very nicely. They should try to like turn the message into something positive and say, hey, maybe you don't like this thing, but we have this and this and that in the game as well, which should be positive, instead of going into arguments with the people, and that's exactly the wrong thing to do. And I think this is the problem, where he is going to turn away a couple of potential buyers or customers simply because of how he behaves on social media now. In general, I did like his takes previously, but now when I have seen some of his posts, I think like he probably just really should take a step back and let somebody else in the company handle the social media, and if it's really bad, then rather not react at all. Yeah. Yeah, John is writing, ignore the choice and it's no problem. Exactly. Yeah, it's a choice, right? It's not forced upon you. I think most people are just currently at a stage where automatically they are expecting when something new is introduced that it will be forced upon them. But unfortunately, this is also something understandable because it's coming from a place where this has happened in the past in some other games, and we have seen this. So naturally, I would understand that people are very cautious right now and they are not reacting in the best positive way when they see stuff like this, even though it's actually, like you're saying, just a choice. So if you don't want to, just ignore it. Yeah. People these days, I have a problem finding this kind of middle ground already, because it's been to such an extreme, going for a long time to one side, that now it's going to the extreme side the other way, and people who are like in the middle, they are rather quiet and are just observing, and they just don't want to go into these fights and discussions, because both sides are at this time not really able of a normal discussion. I think you can see it on the social media oftentimes. Yeah. Let me go back to what you were writing. Yeah, Louis, absolutely. The whole situation is overblown. But Vavra made his bet on this one. He absolutely cultivated the anti-Vogue fanbase and criticized other developers. That's the problem. He did it when he was the owner and he could do that. Now Embracer is there. And partially he needs to basically do what they are saying, whether we like it or not. I think it's kind of a sitting between two chairs. He would like to do some stuff which he can't, and on the other hand, he cannot say something, or he cannot react in the way that he would like to. I don't know. It's hard to judge. I don't know him, so I'm just watching the whole stuff going on social media. The problem is he is right on many things, but he should know better to be more diplomatic. It's the way how he puts certain things into his posts, like he's arguing with the people. You should never argue. Not if you are a game dev and you need to sell a product. Let me put it bluntly this way, right? I don't need to sell a product. I don't care in terms of, like, I don't have a game to sell. So if I criticize a game, people who don't like it can just turn off my channel and go to a different channel. But he's the one making the game. He needs to sell that game. So he shouldn't be going into arguments with people. Yeah. John is writing, Shuck, I'm a boomer. I stay away from X. Yeah. Sometimes it's fun. Some of the stuff that you see there. But yeah, I understand that. Lois is writing, yeah, me too. I just feel strongly about this one as Vabra's fellow countryman. Yeah. Two polar extremes, no middle. Yeah. That's where we currently are. Unfortunately, I guess it will take some time until, just the pendulum, stops swinging that extremely. Like I said, it's been going for a long time towards one side, and now it's just going all the way back and to the other extreme side. And yeah, I honestly hope that it will just come down after a few years and we will have some normal games again and normal discussions about the games, because currently, I'm having the feeling that when somebody just sneezes, it will cause controversy. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, polarization is tiring. That's exactly the point. That's why honestly, that's why I also didn't like make any bits related to these topics. That I just rather talk about them here on the live stream and just discuss it. More like in this manner where I discuss it with you, where I see your reactions and we can talk about it, then make a vid with some, one-sided view, and then, the cat is here, sorry, and just, put out my thoughts there, but have no feedback and not reacting to the people and just go along with whatever is there. Sorry if that was the cat, as you can see, the cat's here. I and it was so fast that the from one day to another you could see different posts and different takes on certain manners, certain topics in certain ways. People with different manners were having different opinions on all these topics, and it was just an endless debate, and I just didn't want to do any bit about all these issues, because in this case, like KCD or Blood of Dawnwalker or The Witcher 4, I will wait until the game is out, and then I will see what it's really about, and then I can make a vid that actually will be based on some like valid arguments and valid opinion after I have seen actually what it's really about, right? So yeah, I will be focusing a little bit more on some Horizon games, as I said. Probably not everyone's favorite, but I still want to play the second one, so I'm definitely going to play. And I want to play a little bit more. I didn't play for like 2-3 months free already since I finished Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'm kind of missing that. And if I'm just making vids where I'm reacting to all these kind of daily news and all these controversies, then I have no time to play games, and it's just not really fun for me as well. So I would rather do some playthroughs and maybe also some game reviews and show you some stuff that maybe some older games that you might not know about or you forgot about. So yeah, I would rather like to do that. But as I said at the start of the stream, I would appreciate also your feedback. So I will definitely like put some post in the community section here on YouTube, where I will ask you, what's your preference? Like if you like review vids, or if you like, some gameplay, or if you like something else. And I would rather do this content, which is like more in favor of what you prefer than, picking up the latest chaotic controversy that's going on. Yeah, let me go back to what you're saying. Louis said, you mentioned being constructive. This is precisely why I complimented Nura on shifting from rage videos more to the character deep dives. And I think she really does a good job there. So I really enjoyed the vids as well. I also sent her a couple of messages. Sometimes we are in contact. So I also wrote to her that I really appreciate the vids. And I also tune in when she's like talking about some games. I think that rage that she came to show us in the beginning was coming from a place of that love that she had for the Dragon Age franchise. And honestly, I was just as mad as she was. I was just expressing it in a different way. But when I have seen what they have done with that franchise and with the games that I have loved, and I was waiting for it for 10 years, when I've seen what they've done, I was just as mad as she was. She just didn't have any filter, and I think she was airing and voicing out so much of the stuff that many people were just thinking and didn't say out loud. But I really was just as mad. It's just not my style, to present things in this way, but nevertheless I understand where she came from. And also, let's not forget, she's been already before that on Twitch for a longer time, and it's not the content that she would be like doing non-stop all the time, just this kind of like rage videos. She was just really mad about this one, and I understand that. So yeah, don't want to like apologize instead of her for anything. It's I'm not sure how to put it best, but I can understand that. That's what I'm trying to express. So I think she aired out a lot of the things, and she voiced many things that many people were thinking, and how angry other people were as well. I think it's reflected also in the number of her followers. So there have been a lot of people who were following her and subscribing to her exactly because they felt the same. They just didn't have any place where to air it, and she did it on behalf of them. So yeah, I understand that. But it's also understandable that she wants to go to a different type of content, because it's over, right? Failguard, it's over. Nobody cares anymore. I stopped making vids about it too. I just don't care as well. I just don't care. It's done and dead, and I'm just sad. At this point, I'm just sad how it ended. Yeah. John is saying, I have to say I learned so much from KCD just googling overheard tidbits from NPC conversations. Clerical concubines. Nura is going a good route. Yeah, I agree. And Lois is writing, I hope she's not discouraged by lower views. But that was to be expected, you know. People have joined because of that current topic that was there. It's the same that I have been seeing for some of the vids. People have been joining when I was making vids about the Dragon Age, the Failguard. But just like she's a variety streamer, I am, let's say, a variety YouTuber. It is to be expected that with some of the vids I will see fluctuations. So some of the vids are great and people like them because it's either a game that they like or a topic that is something that they can relate to. But then maybe I'd make a vid about the game that they don't care about, so I will have less views. And that's the same with Noor. I think that's the same with every streamer or YouTuber who does like a variety content when they are not focusing only solely on one game or on one thing, right? It's something that I was aware of when I started to do the channel as well. For example, like, yeah, there will be people who will be interested maybe in 1-2 things and not in the third or fourth. That's normal. But I think it's a good thing what she's doing right now. So I really enjoy the vids. Yeah, John is saying, I don't think Ara is thin-skinned. Any Origin fan was outraged, to be honest. Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people were. Yeah. Good. Let me, because it's really late. Let me end the stream with one thing I wanted to show you. I'm not sure if you have noticed it or if you have seen it. I think it was like a funny spot at the end. Let me just show you. Have you heard about this one? I'm wondering. It's called A Better Man. From the 90s, I don't know if you remember some of the boy bands. I do, not necessarily because I was a fan, but actually because I was an anti-fan, if you want to call it that way. I couldn't stand these boy bands. But yeah, some of the people have thought it's a good idea to make a movie about a protagonist from one of those boy bands from the 90s. And actually not even like making a movie that would be interesting for the people who have been fans back then, because the people who have been fans back then would have loved to see the person that they were fan of and not a CGI monkey instead. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Robbie Williams. So this monkey is supposed to be Robbie Williams. Okay. Heard of it once a month ago, immediately forgot it existed. That's from Lois. Yeah, so yeah, Robbie Williams has wanted to make like a movie, like an autobiography, and because he said like he often feels like a monkey, or he was often feeling like a monkey on stage, they thought it's a good idea to make a movie where he will not be in, where actually there will be, instead of him in his autobiography, a monkey. And look at the numbers. The movie has cost 110 millions and has grossed worldwide. What is it? I have to make it bigger. 15.6 million. And then they paid 25 million for the domestic rights, where it bombed with 1.9 million. Who in the right mind would think that this is going to sell? Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to mention this at the end. It's kind of a funny take. I mean, if I would want to make an autobiography about a celebrity, I would definitely use a CGI monkey as the main protagonist. Yeah, Robbie used to be a gigantic name. Heard he has a lot of mental issues, though. Yeah, he used to be. And as I said, if there would be any fans of him who would love to see his autobiography, like in a movie, they would want to see him, not a CGI monkey, right? So I think that's the whole point of it. So yeah, just as a fun post at the end of the stream, I just wanted to put out something funny. So I do hope you did like it. I can see John is writing, sleep well, thank you. And yeah, I hope you did like it. It was a good discussion. I hope you didn't mind the personal blabbering from my side. And yeah, Lois, just to you, I don't know if you have heard, in the news today, there have been a couple of people over here protesting, a couple of thousand actually. So yeah, Darth Sidious must be feeling the heat at this point, I think. I'm just quietly sitting at home and watching what's going to happen. Yeah. Louis is writing, maybe he was hoping to get some Gorillaz fans on board too. Yes. Dr. Zaya. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for being here on the stream. I really enjoyed it today. And yeah, I hope I see you then again next month. I will be trying to make it technically a little bit better, I promise. And if there is something going on, like, which maybe would be worth another stream, because it really like amassed to a ton of money, amassed to a ton of information and a ton of like issues that were worth discussing. I will be maybe doing a separate live stream if it's getting too much, because it's like really every day something's happening. So yeah, I do hope that you had some fun today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned and game on, and have a great weekend.